And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a game called Deep Blue. Now this is from Days of Wonder, and I was really excited about this one because, well, it's Days of Wonder. Now not every game from Days of Wonder has been a big hit with me. I found The River from Days of Wonder last year to be pedestrian almost. It was just a very lackluster worker placement game, but Days of Wonder has consistently made some of the best produced games that there are. Nice, light, introductory games. I love the theme of this one, going down and deep sea diving for treasure and push your luck, which is something I'm bad at, but something I enjoy a lot. Let's take a look. Each player is going to get a player board of their color, and they're also going to get a starting hand of 4 cards that match their ship. The Albatross, the Barracuda, the Calypso, the Siren, and the Walrus. So you'll take these 4 cards, and you also might get some bonus chips depending if you go first or not. A bunch of tiles are going to be placed on the board. Some of them are face up in these kind of shallow waters over here. One of those, you're going to place these tiles, randomly, and one of the tiles is going to be empty. So in this case, this one here is empty. On a player's turn, they're going to pick an action that they're going to do, playing 1 or more cards from their hand to take that action. So one thing you can do is you can move. That's what these propellers are for here. So maybe I play both these cards. I can move one of my ships 3, and so I just follow and go 1, 2, 3. If you end on a tile that's face down, you'll flip that tile face up, and you can immediately move to one of the spots on that tile. If you go to one that's face up and there's an open diving spot at that wreck, you can stop on one of those spots also. Another thing that players can do is they can buy a new card for their hand. So here you're going to play cards that have money icons on them. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4. You can always pay 4 to wipe the cards and put new ones out. But I could just pay maybe 2 and take this card into my hand. So whenever I take that, the other cards will move down and will reveal another card. Sometimes when you take a card like this purple gem here, it will show you that a purple gem will be thrown into the bag. So the bag starts with a certain number of gems in it, but there are more gems, you can see them right there, that will be added into the bag as players buy cards. The third action a player can take on their turn is they can rest, which simply means all the cards that you've been playing that you put here, going to be put in a pile, you'll draw the top 3 of those, or shuffle them and draw 3 of them into your hand. So you can slowly build your hand back up. And finally, the fourth action is you can do a dive. If you're on a spot here that has not yet had a dive occur onto it, you can declare. So let's say the purple player declares a dive. Each player that's 1 space away can quickly come in turn order. This player may not want to come in. And then the players who are on the spot, whether you're on one of the 3 spots, you might have someone who's just sitting there. They're participating in a dive, but they don't get a bonus. Being in these spots can give you a bonus. They're all going to participate in the dive. You put the diving bell here to show that this dive is going to happen. It's going to be giving a reward to the players who are diving there with possible bonuses. The player who initiated the dive is going to slowly from the bag pull out gems. So for example, here I pulled out a blue gem. Now this means everyone's running out of air. The first blue gem doesn't affect anybody at all, so we can ignore that. But at any point, I could stop drawing gems, but I probably wouldn't in this case, and now I draw a silver gem. This one is worth 1 coin at the end of the dive. And oh, here's a black gem. This is a monster or something. Again, I can draw 1 of those and I'm fine. Here's a gold gem. This gold gem is going to be worth 2 points to all the players who are in the dive at the end of the round. Here I draw a purple gem. Now a purple gem is worth nothing, but anybody who's in part of the dive can play a card from their hand, like this card here, and say, hey, I have this card in my hand. You play it, and you're going to get 5 coins because that purple gem has shown up. So there's different colored gems that are in the bag that are worth maybe nothing, or this one in case is worth 4, but might be worth more if someone plays the proper card. There are lots of different cards in the game. Like this one says, if 8 gems have been played, I can play this card and get 6 coins. And so if I just have to stay in there long enough, or this one here says if 2 gold gems have been pulled, I'm going to get 4 points. And then there's the ones for a purple, the red, or if a green gem's pulled, I get 8 points, what have you. Now, if a second blue or black gem is pulled, at this point everyone's in trouble. But there are ways around that too. Players can use a card from their hand to defend themselves. So if I have, for example, more air, I can play this and I'm still in the round. Any player who doesn't is removed. They can keep any money they've gained so far, but they're not going to score any endgame points for the tile itself or for the gems that have been discovered. Some of the tiles themselves may have spots that are safe. So for example, on this tile here, if you were sitting on this spot or this spot, you would be protected from a black or a blue card. The other spots here will give you bonuses if those certain gems are pulled. And so players are going to be trying to get into these spots. Hey, a red gem's pulled, I'll take my boat off here, and that gives me 10 coins. At any point, either the player who's diving is going to be defeated by the blue or the black gems, or they're going to stop. And then players will score for any gems that are left over, plus whatever is on the center of the tile. Here it's 4, here it is 7. Then the tile is removed from the board, the ships are all sitting in that area, and we go to the next player's turn. 4 of the tiles are showing the lost city of Atlantis, and as you find them, you place them here. And when the 4th one is placed here, the game is over. And players are going to count up the amount of money that they have, and whoever has the most is the winner. So one of the components people are going to be happy about are these treasure chests here, right? This is simply just a place to keep all your money in. All right, that's kind of cool. Not necessary, but a neat little thing and adds to the theming of the game. The artwork for this game is phenomenal. I mean, from the tiles to the ship cards, to the different characters that are in the game. I'm really happy with all the art in here. It just looks fantastic, and I really like it. I like the coins, I like the gems. The ships are nice little plastic ships. If I have any complaints about the components, it would be a few things. One, these cards the black borders are already starting to get a little bit scuffed. I would say the game's probably been played less than 10 times, and that's a lot of scuffing, I think, already. Then these cards, and you pick one of these at the beginning of the game, and basically it gives you a special ability, like you pull 2 gems at a time from the bag, or no player can rush into dives on sunken city tiles. So it like adds a rule to the game, and these just have those sharp corners, which are really easily nicked and things. Those are kind of minor quibbles. It's Days of Wonder, of course, so they have beautiful everything. They have a fantastic insert here, which holds all the things. My only complaint with these inserts is stacking the coins in these spots here. But it's really well done. It's Days of Wonder. Unfortunately for me, even though the game is well produced and looks good and is pretty easy to teach and play, it turns out to be a disappointment. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some things I like. The hand building part of this game, where you start with 4 cards, you play some cards, you buy new cards, put them in your hand, and you slowly build up your hand over the course of the game. You can buy defensive cards, so when the blue and the black gems are pulled, you can stop them. You can buy the gem cards, so that when they're pulled from the bag, you get extra coins. You can buy cards with good movement. You know, it's almost like there's some games called deck building games. You build a deck, here you're building your hand, you have to take an action to rest, you get a few cards back in your hand. That works well. I like that aspect of the game. It's very simple. It's easy to teach. Move, dive, rest, or buy a card. Simple. The problem is with the diving itself. Now, I love push your luck games. I love the idea of just one more pull from the bag, just one more flip of the card. And that's in this game. But what I highly dislike about Deep Blue is somebody else is pushing my luck. I don't find that fun at all. I don't find it fun that someone else is like, let's go farther. I'm like, well, I wouldn't have. Or maybe they stop and I'd say, I would have gone farther. And I'm at the mercy of the dive leader. Yeah, that's kind of the point of the game. It's just not that interesting. I'm watching someone else play. It's even less interesting when you're not involved in the dive at all. Someone else says, I'm going on a dive. Here we go. And 2 people join them and you're like, oh, that sounds like fun. and you wait for a while because they pull gems from the bag, and they stop and they think, and people play cards, and you're kind of like, wonder when it's my turn again. There's also not a ton of dives in the game, and yet the game seems to be way longer than it should be, which is weird because it's an hour. But it just seems to drag, and there is not many moments of excitement in this game. Sure, if I have that green gem card in my hand, I want you to pull the green gem from the bag. I know it's in there because it got thrown in when I bought the card. If I happen to get 2 of those cards, even better. And if there's one thing new players should learn is don't let someone get all the cards of one color, because when that gem gets pulled from a bag, they're going to score a lot. This game has no curve. You can dive. There's some bonuses. You can pull the gems, and usually with a push you up game, everyone's like, what's going to happen next? And this one, that happens sometimes, but not enough. This feels like half a game. It feels like, oh, here's some interesting ideas about deep sea diving, but I'm not playing all the time. There's not a lot of really interesting decisions that I make, except for buying the cards. See, buying the cards and putting them in your hand, that's the fascinating part of the game, and yet it doesn't play out with the rest of the game. I'm not really interested in a game where someone else is making fun choices and I'm kind of there for the ride. If I want to do that, I'll just watch other people play board games. I want to be involved, and I don't think there's enough involvement for Deep Blue for me to pull through. And this is unfortunate because, like I said, Days of Wonder makes fantastic games, and I get really excited when a new one comes out. But this is 2 years in a row now, this and The River, where I've been a little disappointed. The River, because it was so mundane. This one, unfortunately, feels a little mundane, but it's also just not exciting, and a push-you-luck game should keep you on the edge of your seat. But if someone sits there and goes, I got 3 black cards, I'm just going to keep drawing the gems, I don't care. And I'm like, well, I guess I got to drop out. I don't really have any recourse to that. There's not any, maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe you will. But still, there's just something very anticlimactic to watch somebody else press my luck. I don't know. And that's probably not everybody. Many of the people that I played it with had very similar feelings, but not everyone did. A few people did enjoy it and liked the idea. And I have to say that the theme is consistent. It works with it. Days of Wonder knows how to tie a theme to a game. But at the end of the day, it's not one I want to go back to. At the end of the day, it wasn't one that I had a lot of fun playing. So for me, unfortunately, Deep Blue is a pass. Dice Tower Judgment, it's pretty, but I just didn't like how it all came together.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando, in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.